तवयवता मुसमपतिता प्रभु न पाइबे आयरा मुसमपतिता प्रभु न पाइबे आयरा हा हा प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी हा हा प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी कृपा करो काना करो आमी बड़ दुखी आमी बड़ कृपा बलो काना करो आमी बड़ दुखी दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तव कृपा बोले पाई चैतन्य निताय पाई चैतन्य निताय तव कृपा बोले पाई चैतन्य निताय हा स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ रूप रघुनाथ भक्त जुग श्रीजीव प्रभु लोकनाथ भक्त जुग श्रीजीव प्रभु लोकनाथ दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास रामचंद्र संग मागे नरोत्तम दास रामचंद्र संग मागे नरोत्तम दास Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Kripa bolo kana koro ami boro dukhi kana koro ami boro dukhi bolo kripa bolo kana koro ami boro dukhi Oh Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More Toma bina ke dayalu jagat samsare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Kalachanji Radhe. Jaya Radha, Govinda Radhe. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram. Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Oh Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Oh Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Bolo Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol.
His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaya Charanarvindam, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya, BBT Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Guru Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Guru Parampara Ki Jai, Shri Sadgosai Prabhu Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त बिंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री मायपुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय श्री गोकुलपुरी धाम की जय यमुना माई की जय गंगा माई की जय श्रीमती तुलसी देवी महारानी की जय श्रीमती भक्ति देवी महारानी की जय समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय बोलो श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय जुग धर्म हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय ISKCON Texas Yatra ki jai. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books and Prashad Distribution ki jai. Jai, the Holy Appearance Day of the Original Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Nityananda Balarama ki jai. Sri Nityananda Balarama Mahatsava ki jai. Sri Nityananda Triyodasi Maha Mahatsava ki jai. Jai Bolo Shri Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsingadeva ki jai. Shri Shri Chota Radha Govind ji ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Govinda ji ki jai. Shri Shri Chota Radha Kalachanji ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Kalachanji ki jai. Shri 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 Radha Kalachanji Dham ki jai. Shri 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 Radha Kalachanji Dham Gora Bhakta Brinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada.
One announcement, we will have Harinam this evening. Haribol, 6:30 p.m. across from Trader Joe's. A wonderful opportunity to worship Lord Nityananda by approaching all the Jagais and Madhais of this age. So please join us. Might be a little chilly, so dress warm. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda Haribol, Haribol, Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol Nitai Gauranga Haribol, Haribol, Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jagadguru Jaya Acharya Thakur Srila Prabhupada Acharya Thakur Srila Prabhupada Jaya Acharya Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada Jaya Vaishnava Jaya Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada. Patit Pavan Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Patita Pavan. Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada. Jaya Bhakti. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Patita Pavan Srila Gurudeva. Patit Pavan Srila Gurudeva. Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Jai Gurudeva. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Prabhupada Astotarastha Shishimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaya Charanarvindam Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhakti Mahapurana Ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita Yatha Rupa Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Kalachanji Ki Jai, the holy appearance day of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Nityananda Balarama Ki Jai, Shri Gaur Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much for attending today's program, Lord Nityananda's Appearance Day. In many ways, this program is what powers us in our Krishna consciousness through the rest of the year, because Lord Nityananda is the original spiritual master. And we're very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada is an expansion of Lord Nityananda. It is described that Srila Prabhupada himself was an energy of Lord Nityananda. And for us, there is nobody more merciful than Srila Prabhupada, because he came to this world to save us. For those of us who know the story of how he didn't want to come from Goloka Vrindavan, but Krishna more or less forced him to come. There's a lot of nice arguments and arrangements as to why it was very necessary, because Krishna was himself suffering from the separation of his children. Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham bija pradapitaha. Also he describes in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham, he says, Suridam sarva bhutanam, of all living entities, I am the greatest benefactor, the greatest lover. So obviously when a lover is separated from the beloved, he feels a lot of separation. And so Krishna was feeling so much separation that he decided to come himself. But after coming himself, within 200 years, people started forgetting about him. Then he thought, I think when I told them about Krishna consciousness, how I told them was a little difficult. So let's make it easy for them. So he comes as Gauranga Mahaprabhu to make it very easy. Just chant the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, we are so fallen. We are so unintelligent. We are so unfortunate that within 200 years, people forgot that as well. So then Krishna decided the best answer was that he would send Srila Prabhupada to the material world. But Prabhupada didn't want to come because he knew everybody who comes to the material world, they get captured by Maya Devi. Maya Devi is also a very powerful personality. She's an expansion of Radharani. There is nobody more powerful than Radharani. Srila Prabhupada knew that very well. Srila Prabhupada himself is a very, very intimate associate of Radharani. That is why when he came to this planet, he made sure that his father always spoke about Radharani. For those of us who know the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, we know that he was born in a family where his father was always asking all the sadhus to come to his house and bless his son that he may become a nice devotee of Radharani. So these things are not accidental. These are all arrangements that are made in a very amazing way. And so, but then finally Srila Prabhupada relented. But Prabhupada is also a very intelligent personality. Those people who met Srila Prabhupada in this world say that you can put the best brains of this world together, and all of those brains together cannot match Srila Prabhupada's brain. Such a smart person. Anything Prabhupada wanted to do, he would achieve. That's how intelligent, great person he was. This is the mercy of Lord Nityananda. This is Lord Nityananda. He's a very intelligent person. In the Nityananda Charitamrita is described that Lord Krishna lives in his body. And we can see on the altar that to the very left is Lord Nityananda. He's the leftmost personality. That's how you start, right? From the left to the right. Because the Chinese start from the right to the left. You notice how when the Chinese write, they write from the right of the page to the left. Everybody else writes from the left to the right. So generally speaking, Vedic culture is also left to right. And so we see the deity first on the left and then we move to the right like that, generally speaking. Of course, in our case, we start with viewing the spiritual master. So we start at the feet. And so we view the spiritual master and go up like that. But again, start from the left and go to the right. And then it's described in the Nityananda Charitamrita that Lord Krishna lives inside Lord Nityananda's body. That is where you will find Lord Krishna. If you're looking for Lord Krishna, you have to find Lord Nityananda, because it's inside his body that Lord Krishna is living. And we can see the very right of the altar is Lord Krishna as Jagannath. So Jagannath lives inside Lord Nityananda's body. And all of the other leelas that are happening between them two are the leelas of Gauranitai. These are the leelas of Gauranitai, including Kalachandji, including Radharani. Kalachandji is Mother Yashoda's favorite name for Krishna. She calls him Kalachandra. This is described in scripture. And Lord Chaitanya said that when he chants the holy name of Krishna, there are only two meanings he gets from the name of Krishna. The first is Yashodanandana, and the second is Shyamasundar. These are the two meanings of the name Krishna, like that he draws from his chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And of course, Yashodanandana, Mother Yashoda's favorite name for Krishna is Kalachandra. We're so fortunate we have Kalachandra right here. Originally in Vrindavan, he was called Kalachandraji. But Vrindavan Basis like to shorten names. So they named him Kalachandji. They took the draw out and put Kalachandji like that. So that's how he's known. Originally he is from Vrindavan. When the Mughals attacked, he was buried underground. And then the king of Jaipur, he knew that this is a very, very important deity of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, the Vrindavan Basis used to worship Kalachandji for opulence. He was the deity of opulence. And we can see that in Dallas, he's the opulence of the love of Krishna. Prabhupada describes that the gopis are saying, when Krishna comes back to Vrindavan, that Krishna is the only opulence of Vrindavan. They miss him so much that they realize that they feel, it's not they realize, they already know that, but they express that it is Krishna who is the opulence of Vrindavan. That Krishna is most intimately related to Mother Yashoda. Whenever Mother Yashoda is any Leela, you'll notice everybody else will focus on one person, not Krishna. They'll focus on Mother Yashoda. Everybody will run to Mother Yashoda, touch her feet, Maya, Maya, and speak to her with a lot of love. Because there is nobody who loves Krishna more than his mother, Mother Yashoda. So why I'm saying all of this on Lord Nityananda's day? I'm saying this because this is the blessing that we get from Lord Nityananda, a correct understanding of Krishna consciousness, a personal understanding of Krishna consciousness. It is described that there are two qualities that are required in a person who speaks about Krishna. One is good character and the other is good understanding of the philosophy. Achar and prachar. Achar means to have good character. What does it mean to have good character? To have good character means to always understand that one is a humble servant of the servants of the servants of the servants of the gopis of Braja. Gopir bharatu padakamalyor dasa dasa anudasa. And that whatever one does with that mood, the mood of utter humility. It is called in Sanskrit dainya. One should have dainya like that. Then a person has good character. Even if the person is misbehaving, that is still considered a good character because he has dainya. Misbehavior happens because of conditioning. We all condition for millions of lives, right? So all that conditioning is not going to all of a sudden wear away. It will wear down like how when a fan is spinning at full velocity and you turn the switch off, the fan gradually comes to a halt. It doesn't come to a halt immediately. So similarly, Krishna describes that Krishna consciousness takes many, many lifetimes. After many, many lifetimes, one comes to the point that Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja. We come to that point. So Lord Nityananda, what he does is that he collapses time for us. He makes it happen faster. Just like it is said that in this world, whatever pain we are suffering is our pot of gold. Why is it our pot of gold? Because now, when we know how to deal with the pain, we can help others who are dealing with the pain and help them get over their problem. And there is nothing more important in this world than serving others. The fastest way one can be Krishna conscious is to serve the devotees, is to serve the servants of the devotees. That's the fastest way to make Krishna conscious advancement. So what Lord Nityananda does, he exemplifies this. He collapses time for us. What otherwise might take us many lifetimes, as Krishna says, to become Krishna conscious, Lord Nityananda will make it in one lifetime. He'll help us make it in one lifetime. So today is his birthday, as it is appearance day. So as it is described that Lord Nityananda is very, very merciful. There is nobody more merciful than Lord Nityananda. Lord Chaitanya is described as Namo Mahavadanyaya, the most beneficent. But even more merciful than Lord Chaitanya is Lord Nityananda, and that we hear from the story of Jagai and Madai. So the story of Lord Nityananda is written in Chaitanya Charitamrita in the 5th chapter, which describes the glories of Lord Nityananda. Today we're going to read from chapter 10, from verse number 10. But before I come to verse number 10, I just want to introduce the earlier verses, the texts. And before we do that, let's put our hands together and repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and by the sweetest graces of my spiritual master, my darkened eyes were opened with the salve of love, in the form of transcendental knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances, gratitude, and homage to him. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavinebhya vaishnavebhya namo namaha. Let us offer our respectful obeisances upon all Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desire trees and can fulfill desires of everyone, for they are full of compassion for all fallen conditioned souls. Jai Radhe. Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Tamal Krishna Goswami Namne. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatayine. So in chapter 5, text number 1, I'm going to read just the translations, then we'll do the verse of chapter 10. Text 1. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Sri Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. Text 2. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Acharya. And all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is actually described in Madhi Lila, chapter 9 through text, chapter 9, texts 28 through 53, that if you take the total value of the whole creation, it still does not equal the value of any one of the devotees of Lord Gauranga. This is how powerful the devotees of Lord Gauranga are. Text 3. I have described the glory of Sri Krishna Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now in 5 verses, I shall describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. Text 4. He starts the glorification here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second identity. Text 5. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Text 6. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvipa as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. Text 7. May Sri Nityananda Rama be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshana, Seshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie in the Karna ocean, Garbha ocean, and milk oceans are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Text 8. Lord Balaram is the original Sankarshana. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. Text 9. He himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. And now we come to text number 10. So if you have your phones on, you'll be able to see that on the phone. I'm going to go word by word, and then I'll read the verse. Please repeat after me. Shrishti Adika Seva. Service in the matter of creation. Tanra. His. Agyara. Of the order. Palana. Execution. Sesharupe. The form of Lord Sesha. Kare. Does. Krishnera. Of Lord Krishna. Vivida Sevana. Varieties of service. Shishtyadika Seva. Tanragyara Palana. Shishtyadika Seva. Tanragyara Palana. Sesharupe Kare Krishnera Vivida Sevana. Sesharupe kare Krishnera vivida sevana. Shrishtadika seva tanragyara palana. Sesharupe kare Krishnera vivida sevana. Anybody want to repeat? No? Yeah, go ahead, please. Shrishtadika seva tanragyara palana. Sesharupe kare Krishnera vivida sevana. Thank you, very nice. Shrishtadika seva tanragyara palana. Sesharupe kare Krishnera vivida sevana. Shrishtadika seva tanragyara palana. Shesharupe kare Krishnera vivida sevana. Okay, so please repeat the translation. He executes the orders of Lord Krishna in the work of creation, and in the form of Lord Shesha, he serves Krishna in various ways. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. According to expert opinion, Balarama, as the chief of the original quadruple forms, is also the original Sankarshana. Balarama, the first expansion of Krishna, expands himself in 5 forms. Number 1, Maha Sankarshana. Number 2, Karnadakshayi Vishnu. Karnadakshayi. Number 3, Garbhadakshayi. 4, Kshiradakshayi. And 5, Sesha. These 5 plenary portions are responsible for both spiritual and material cosmic manifestations. In these 5 forms, Lord Balaram assists Lord Krishna in his activities. The first 4 of these forms are responsible for the cosmic manifestations, whereas Sesha is responsible for personal service to the Lord. Sesha is called Ananta, or unlimited, because he assists the personality of Godhead in his unlimited expansions by performing an unlimited variety of services. Sri Balaram is the servitor Godhead who serves Lord Krishna in all affairs of existence and knowledge. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who is the same servitor Godhead, Balarama, performs the same service of Lord Gauranga by constant association. So this is Lord Nityananda. And so this is more particularly described in a set of verses called the Sri Nityananda Ashtakam. 8 prayers to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the Lord of eternal bliss. This is composed by Vrindavan Das Thakur. You can look that up on Google, but I'm just going to read the translations because that'll help us understand Lord Nityananda in a way that will allow us to understand how we can serve Guru and Krishna personally. What does it mean to have personal service like that? Verse 1. The sphere of his bright face resembles a wandering autumnal moon. His pure complexion glistens. His gait is like that of an elephant. He is utterly intoxicated in love of God, Krishna Prema. He is the personification of pure spiritual energy, Vishuddha Sattva, and his face is smiling. His eyes are always rolling from intoxication of divine love. His hand holds a staff, and beating his staff on the ground strongly and loudly chanting, Hari Bol! He dispels the evil forces of this age of Kali. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the tree of devotion, bhakti to God. This reminds me, when I first came to America, we used to visit New Vrindavan because New Vrindavan would hold the GBC Temple Presidents meetings. And at these meetings, the emperor of those meetings was Radhanath Maharaj, because Radhanath Maharaj was the presiding GBC for Vrindavan, New Vrindavan. And so, he had his room, and there was a hallway that you went down to the room on the left side. And Radhanath Maharaj, whenever he's in that hallway, he would always just every so often go, Hari Bol! Hari Bol! I used to wonder why Radhanath Maharaj does that, Because generally speaking, we chant Hare Krishna, like that, right? He's just going around, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. If he sees anybody say, Hari, he won't take their name, just Hari, like that, Now I realize, when I read this verse, I realized why he was doing that. Because he was dispelling the darkness of the age of Kali. Because New Vrindavan had a lot of heavy energy, There's a lot of heavy energy in New Vrindavan. A lot of things happened that were very heavy things. So he was such a powerful personality. He was there right from the beginning, as we know, doing very humble service when hardly anybody was there in Vrindavan, New Vrindavan. A place that's very beloved to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada actually described that he wanted New Vrindavan to be the headquarters, like that. Didn't say whether it was just headquarters for America or headquarters for the whole world. So you can translate it both ways, like that. In the second verse he says, He is the abode of all transcendental relationships with God, or rasas. This is the relationship we have with Krishna. Some rasa, some relationship, which is a personal relationship. Each and every one of us has a personal relationship that is unique and individual. Nobody else has that relationship with Krishna. Only you have that. You should know that. And every living entity, it's not just us who are sitting in this temple room. Every living entity has a unique relationship with Krishna. And they are supposed to have that relationship with Krishna. And only then Krishna will be satisfied. It's just like, if you want to eat pizza, and then you pick up the item, put it in your mouth, and it tastes like Karela, what are you going to do? You're going to spit it out, right? And you say, that's not pizza. So if you try to act in a way that is not you with Krishna, then Krishna is just going to spit it out. He didn't want to taste you as somebody else. He wants to taste you as you. And each one is very important. And this is the message of Lord Nityananda. He is the mellow of all those rasas. He has all of those rasas inside of him. So when we grasp his lotus feet, when we hold on to his lotus feet, then our own mellow becomes clear to us. And then we know now how to talk and deal with Guru and Krishna. Guru is the same for those of us who are spiritual masters. We know that, right? Our spiritual masters deal with us personally. Each and every one of us different. He doesn't deal with us the same way. That's why sometimes we have confusion. Oh, but Guru Maharaj, you did that with that person. How come you don't do that with me? Well, you are not that person. You're you. So he's going to deal with you like you should be dealt with. He knows that. He knows your nature. That is the meaning of spiritual master. That is because Krishna knows our nature. And that is because Lord Nityananda knows our nature. So today is the day when we should really fixate our mind and ask this question, very deep question. Oh Krishna, how do you want me to serve you? Now. How do you want me to serve you now and forever? By the way, that is not a one-trick pony service, by the way. It's not that you're serving in a certain way and it's not going to grow and become better and bigger. It's always going to grow and become better and bigger. Just like with Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada came to the West to preach in English. What happened? Look at all the Leela that's going on now. This is ISKCON Leela that is going on now. All that started from Prabhupada doing the one thing that Krishna wanted him to do, which was preach in English in the West. Simple point, right? Of billions of things anybody can do and everybody can do, he was asked to do one thing: go to the West and preach in English. When he did that, what happened? We all became devotees. Or at least we're trying to become devotees. This is how Leela happens. You see what I'm saying? Well, you shouldn't have to do that, Rohit. A little embarrassing doing in the middle of the class. Thank you. So, but this is Lord Nityananda. He blesses us with this. This is Lord Nityananda's blessing. You see what I'm saying? So today is the day to ask for that blessing. Lord Nityananda loves to give blessings, by the way. He's the simplest. He says, if you take the name Nitai once, I'll become your servant. He's the Supreme Personality of God in himself. And he wants to become our servant. What a nice person, right? But today is his birthday. You know, on birthdays, people are happier, right? Because in this world, you get gifts on that day, right? Should be the other way around. You should give gifts to others. That's the Vedic system. But anyway, the material world is always upside down. So on this day, especially children, you know, they love it. Today is my birthday. They wake up in the morning telling their parents, today is my birthday. Why? Because they expect that today they will get some nice to eat, nice presents, a lot of love, like that, right? So today is Lord Nityananda's appearance day. This is the day to beg the best thing we can beg from him. You know, if we want to beg somebody, why not beg for something really great, right? If you meet, you know, Warren Buffett, who's got, by the way, $300 billion cash sitting in his bank account, that's how rich this guy is, don't go and beg him for $1 million. Tell him, look, could I have $100 million, please, or $100 billion? Right? He's a big guy. He can give you a lot of money. Why ask for something small? Krishna is the best person to ask for from anybody, right? Because you have everything if you have Krishna. Lord Nityananda today gives Krishna to anybody who asks. How do we ask for Krishna? We ask, how can I show love to Krishna and to you, O Guru? Because, you know, when you say Guru and Gauranga, that is not our spiritual master in Gauranga. That is Lord Nityananda in Gauranga. Guru and Krishna is our spiritual master in Krishna. But Guru and Gauranga is Lord Nityananda and Lord Gauranga. A lot of people make that mistake. They think Guru and Gauranga means my Guru Maharaj and Gauranga. No. Guru and Gauranga means Lord Nityananda. So he's the original Guru. Our Guru Maharaj is the expansion. And in the case of Srila Prabhupada, the direct energy of Lord Nityananda, like that. So this is a very important part of the prayer. This prayer was written, by the way, by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Who is Vrindavan Das Thakur? Anybody knows who Vrindavan Das Thakur is? Sorry? Yes. Okay. Somebody else? He is Vyasadeva. He's Vyasadeva himself. Who knows Vedic knowledge better than Vyasadeva? Who knows Bhakti better than Vyasadeva? He wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the story of Bhakti. Right? The Acharyas say you can burn all the books in this world. If you just keep the Srimad Bhagavatam, you got it. Everything is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So then it continues. Actually, I'm going to repeat that one again. He is the abode of all transcendental relationships with God, the rasas. He is everything to his devotees. He is beyond compare. And he is the dear husband of Vasudha and Janava Devi, who are his very life. He is always maddened in love, in divine love, prema, and he is unknown. He is unknown only to those of mundane intelligence. So this mundane intelligence, I want to talk about that. After I read this, I'm going to talk about this mundane intelligence. Because as devotees, we should get the intelligence right. If we get the intelligence right, then we are properly situated. Now we can be Krishna conscious properly. So I'm going to come to that at the end. Then he says, I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the tree of devotion, bhakti to God. What do we say all the time? You should water the root, right? Then the whole tree is watered. If you please Lord Nityananda, you've pleased everybody. You've pleased Krishna, you've pleased Radharani, you've pleased Lord Chaitanya. Lord Jagannath, Lord Baladev, Subhadra, Nrsimhadev, Anatasesha, Panchatattva, anybody, name it. Tulsi Maharani, anybody. Guru, the devotees. Third verse. He is most dear to Mother Shachi's son, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is worshipped by the entire universe and he is forever filled with joy. He is unbounded energy, unbounded mercy. He rescues the souls drowning in this iron age of Kali. And by performing Sri Harinam Sankirtan, chanting of God's holy names, he evaporates the swelling pride in this ocean of mundane existence. Our mundane existence is so powerful, it's proud, right? I'm the mundane existence and all of you are going to drown in me. He destroys that pride. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the tree of devotion, bhakti to God. In the next verse, O my brother, contaminated by the vices of the iron age of Kali, what will become of mankind? He thus advises the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, quote, please devise a method to purify the souls whereby they can easily attain your shelter. So he asked Lord Chaitanya to devise a method. What method did Lord Chaitanya devise? Two things. He devised Harinam Sankirtan. Golokara Premadana, Harinam Sankirtan, and he devised Srila Prabhupada. Goloka Premadana Harinam Sankirtan on its own cannot help us without Srila Prabhupada. It is the person who always delivers the energy and the message. And for us, that person is Srila Prabhupada. So today we can also grasp the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and say, my dear Srila Prabhupada, please. And he is our grandfather, right? Except for one person I see sitting here. There was another one as well, but except for Mishra Bhagavan Prabhu. All of us are grandchildren of Srila Prabhupada. How much love there is between grandfather and grandchildren, right? Grandfather, grandmother, that's who love us much more than the parents love us. So we're so very fortunate. We can get hold of our dada, or whatever we call him in our language, right? What are some of the other names they use for grandfather in languages? Dada is one of them. What else? Huh? Bapa, yeah, Bapa. Some people say Bapa, right? So like that, Mota Bapa. Bapa is generally more father, Mota Bapa, like that. Yeah. So there are different names like that. So whatever your culture, name is for Dada, Grandpa, right? Aja, yeah, Aja, right? Aja, yeah. So different names like that. They even in some of them they say Nana, right? Right? Nana, like that. Nana is no number of names. Nana can mean smaller. Nana can also mean a smaller uncle, or Nana can mean the grandfather, like that, depending on which culture you go. So whatever that name is, grasp his lotus feet, say them. By the way, here his lotus feet are visible. You have to touch them. Please. A lot of people put their head to his lotus feet and pray. Take advantage. Today is the day. Take advantage of that. Ask him for the blessings, the best of all blessings. Then he continues. O brothers, simply chant incessantly the names of Sri Hari and let the responsibility of delivering you from the ocean of repeated birth and death rest upon me, he says. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. Just take the holy names and, including Nitai, Nityananda, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Balaram, right? Different names like that. Not Nityananda Pran. Nityananda Pran is actually Lord Chaitanya's name. Because he is the life and soul of Lord Nityananda, therefore he's called Lord Nityananda Pran. Right? Like that. But Nityananda, Nityananda Ram, Nitai, like that. Dauji, Nitai, different names like that. Take the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Including the Panchatattva, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasti Gaur Bhaktavinda, Jagannath, Baladeva, all these wonderful names, right? Krishna has so many beautiful names. Take these names, and then say to Lord Nityananda, you said, leave the rest to me. So I'm going to leave the rest to you. Say that to him. He likes it. He likes to be challenged. Lord Nityananda never shies away from competition. He's a very competitive person. To the extent that he broke the danda of Lord Chaitanya. This is how competitive he is. See what I'm saying? So, take his promise on, right? He promises. Take him on his promise. He wants that. That's love, right? While traveling constantly, he approached the door of every home, declaring this with outstretched arms. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the tree of devotion to God. It's described that when he would go house to house, he would knock on the door, and when the householder opened the doors, they couldn't see anybody because Lord Nityananda was paying full obeisances on the ground with straw in his teeth. And then he would get up and say, just take the name of Krishna once. He says, I'll take care of everything else. Don't worry. You just take the name of Krishna once. That's how merciful he is. Then in the next verse is described, how astonishing. He is just like Agastya Muni. Who is Agastya Muni? He once swallowed the entire ocean. Right? So he just drank the whole ocean of salt water just to save his devotee, like that. That's Agastya Muni, right? So very powerful person. And so he says, just like Agastya Muni, because he drinks the whole ocean of material existence. He is the rising moon that causes the ocean of saintly persons' good fortune to swell. So he is the ocean of saintly persons' good fortune. He is the brilliant sun, blazing before the multitude of rogues and dispelling the darkness of their ignorance. So many rogues in this world, right? So much darkness in this world. He'll dispel all of that. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of Krishna Bhakti tree. Then in the next verse, the 7th verse, it says, dancing, singing, and calling out the names of God, the very sight of him delights the devotees. He roams every path, casting upon the saintly a glance from the corners of his merciful eyes. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the tree of devotion or bhakti to God. And the final verse he says, when he gently held the supremely soft lotus hand of his brother, their hearts flooded in ecstasy as they gazed at each other's faces. As he wandered here and there, he delighted the townspeople with his sweetness. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the tree of devotion or bhakti to God. So, actually there is one more verse, I'm sorry, which is actually the, here it is. So this is the final verse, sorry, the 8th verse. May Sri Nityananda Prabhu, may Lord Sri Nityananda Prabhu's 2 lotus feet brilliantly manifest in the hearts of those who recite this unprecedented and supremely potent Nityananda ISKCON, which is the reservoir of mellows, rasa, the treasure of exalted Vaishnavas who relish these mellows of divine love, rasika, and the abode of the essence of bhakti rasa. It bestows liberation upon all fallen souls who simply remember it. This morning there was a nice devotee here. His name was Bhakti Ras, right? He was dancing with us. It was so nice. So these are the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. You can pick that up from Google and keep them with you because these have some very nice symbols on them and they describe what those symbols mean and how they can bless us. So this is Lord Nityananda. And so one of the gifts he gave us, which is really a very amazing gift, because this gift, if we teach this to others, it actually allows people to understand how to live a life as a human being properly. Whether or not they're Krishna conscious makes no difference. If they're Krishna conscious, it's best. If they're not Krishna conscious, it means they're going to come a few more lifetimes in the future. Because you have to come to Krishna consciousness. It is the ultimate state. Until you come to the Krishna conscious state, you cannot go back to Godhead. We have to stay in the material world. And that's what we've done all these lives. This is Lord Chaitanya's 15,001st visit to this world. We were there in all the previous 15,000 visits as well, like we are in the 15,001. We didn't go back to Godhead. Why? This is the answer. I wanted to give that answer today. What is it that happens that doesn't allow us to go back to Godhead? Now that is generally described as making offenses. If you offend a devotee, you offend any living entity. Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam says, if you offend any living entity, I will not give you Krishna consciousness. Because the only person who can give us Krishna consciousness is Krishna. So we cannot offend any living entity. Most importantly, the elephant offense is to offend a devotee. To offend a Vaishnava, to offend a devotee is the worst of any offense that we can make. How do we avoid this? Because it's so easy to offend people, right? It's so easy. Cockroach shows up in the house and you run for the spray to spray so that the cockroach will die. Right? You know, a rat shows up in the house and you set up a rat trap to catch the rat, kill the rat. Right? All these things are happening. What to speak of offending people? It's so easy to offend people. Somebody doesn't look at you right and you think that's a bad person. Somebody doesn't say something right to you and you think that's a bad person. Somebody criticizes you and that person is Satan now. Right? So many times we don't get recognized. And so we feel offended. But that's our problem. That offense is ours. That's not that person's problem. Anybody can offend you as much as they want to offend you. You should not feel offended. How do you avoid that? How do you make sure that you're so strong that you stay Krishna conscious no matter what happens? This morning, Gopal Prabhu was reading from Mukunda Maharaj's book, right? Miracle on 2nd Avenue. And there it said that, suddenly a earthquake happened, right? And Prabhupada was saying, people were worrying the building will fall and they'll die. So they were afraid that they were going to die. And Prabhupada said, I'm not afraid. Prabhupada said, people are generally not afraid when everything is going right. But when something goes wrong, suddenly they become afraid of death. Oh, I'm going to die. Right? So Mukunda Maharaj said, but Prabhupada wasn't like that. He wasn't afraid. In fact, he said, I hope I die. Why? But then you're done with this material world, right? This stupid world. You're out of here. You're going to have, no matter how bad a devotee you are, by the way, and nobody if you're a bad devotee, by the way. I'm not saying anybody if he's a bad devotee, but I'm saying if you're thinking, I'm a bad devotee, no matter how bad you are, you're 10,000 times better than the best karmi. Now give me some names of good karmis in this world. Huh? Good karmi. Come on, it's not a difficult question that you ask in your PhD class, okay? This is kindergarten question. Name of a karmi that you think is a great karmi on this planet. Huh? Say it again. Elon Musk, okay? Elon Musk, okay, yeah. He's definitely a very powerful karmi. Very good. Who else? Good karmi. A lot of people don't like Elon Musk, okay? Because, he says things that sometimes can really offend people. He loves offending people, by the way. That guy doesn't mind offending anybody. He can offend the President of the United States of America. Got into him with trouble, right? That's how powerful he is. Anyway, somebody was saying? Mother Teresa, yeah, she's no longer on the planet, but she's not a karmi, really. She's a devotee. She's a devotee of God, right? She's not. Karmi means that these people are looking to become very powerful, good people, become king of the world, like that, rule the world, become very wealthy, but nice people. Nice people. JFK was there in this planet, yes. John F. Kennedy is definitely a good example. I mean, amongst the living examples, I normally take the example of Warren Buffett. He's a really nice guy. You know, in 2008, when the market crashed, he wrote one check as a donation, and that check had $40 billion written on it. 40 billion. One check. That's powerful, right? That's a powerful karmi. The worst devotee is 10,000 times better than that. Now tell me, why are you thinking you're a bad devotee? You're 10,000 times better than the best karmi, Prabhupada said. He may not be the best karmi. Somebody else might be the best karmi, right? That we have not even named. 10,000 times better than the best karmi is the worst devotee. Right? So, even if we are the worst devotee, if you die, what's going to happen in your next life? What is Krishna's promise? He will give you birth in the land of the pious, which is demigod kingdom, where you will live with ecstasy for many thousands of lifetimes. You'll live like ecstatically for thousands of lifetimes as a great demigod. And then you'll come back and take birth again on the material, on earth again. Why? Because earth is the visa house. It's the place where you stamp your visa to go to the spiritual world. You cannot go to the spiritual world unless you're on planet Earth. How lucky we are, right? We're on planet Earth. This is the staging point. So then you get birth here in which two families? Either very wealthy or very transcendental, right? A transcendental family. How lucky is that, right? Then you go back to Godhead. So all of us should be praying every day. May I die soon, may I die soon. In fact, it's not happy birthday, it's happy death day. Every time somebody tells me on my birthday, happy birthday, I say, please wish me a happy death day. That's the best day, the death day. This is not the art of living, this is the art of dying. How to die properly. So Prabhupada said, I wish I can die right now. This is what Prabhupada said to Mukundamari. Mukundamari is scratching his head thinking, what? Why would Prabhupada want to die right now? That this is the value of being a devotee. So what is it that brings us to this? And this is what I want to speak about. There are three things in this world that actually bring about success. Most people focus on one thing, it's called the how. How do I do this? If you ask them to do anything, become a devotee, the first thing that they think in their mind is, how? How do I become devotee? If the boss asks you, right, please go and do this task, the first thing in your mind that comes is, how am I going to do this? You see? Please become a good devotee. How am I going to become a good devotee? Now it is true, you should ask that question, but that is not the first question you should ask. The first question you should ask is what children ask. What do children ask all the time? Why? They always ask why. Why should I be doing this? In the why is your state. Once when I was being asked by Srila Gurudev to actually set up the university, so he was giving me some training. So he told me the secret of life is the bigger the why, the greater you will do. The bigger the why, the greater you will do. What is our why? Our why is Krishna. Everything we do should have only one reason, to please Krishna. Of course, he has his expansions. We want to please Radharani, we want to please Lord Gauranga, we want to please Lord Nityananda, we want to please Srila Prabhupada, we want to please our spiritual master, we want to please the devotees, we want to please the ant as well. But all that is described with one word, Krishna. In Dallas, Kalachandji. Please Kalachandji. That is the only reason we should be doing anything. If you put that as the first thing in your life, everything I do will be for one reason. And everything I will not do will be for the same reason. I will and will not do based on Kalachandji, based on Krishna. If you fix that, that is called your state. Get in the right state, get in the right place. right? If you want to live in America, where do you have to go? You have to go to America or to one of the embassies of America around the world. Because an embassy of America is also the United States of America. Correct? So if you want to be devotee, where do you have to go? Spiritual world, right? So you have to be in the spiritual world at all times. Prabhupada describes this. The meaning of Krishna consciousness is that one always lives with Krishna on that spiritual planet, Golok Vrindavan. And then when one is simply waiting to give up this material body. That is the meaning of Krishna consciousness. That's called our state. That state is the first thing you should lock yourself into. If you lock yourself there, even if you make mistakes, you offend devotees, things will happen. Do you know that when you celebrate the appearance of a great person, it's a 3-day celebration? The 3-day celebration. Why? First day you should learn about the person. It's about knowledge. Second day, you should actually do a big festival. And the third day you should feast. Look at Lord Nityananda's appearance day. What came first before Lord Nityananda's appearance day? Ekadasi. Then came Lord Varadev's appearance. Who is Lord Varadev? The Lord who protects you from Vaishnava Aparada. If you do Vaishnava Aparada, and the devotee won't forgive you, because a lot of devotees don't forgive, right? If you get offended, you're like, I want to take some revenge on you, man. Cold revenge. It's best revenge. So they don't like to forgive. So then you can go to Lord Varadev and pray, please, Lord Varadev, I'm sorry I offended the devotee. I tried my best to please him, but he's not pleased or she's not pleased. So you please forgive me, right? So that's Lord Varadev. Then comes Lord Nityananda's appearance day. So 3 days in a row, we had a celebration, right? This is Lord Nityananda. Get ourselves into that state first. That is called our why. And then comes our how. The second one is how. Now, how do you do this? What is the process? In our case, the process is chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There's a very beautiful pastime about this, okay? At the time when the Kurukshetra battle happened, do you know there was a very wonderful devotee who was the son of Gaturgach. What was his name? Anybody remember the name of Gaturgach's son? Sorry? Barbarik. Now, this Barbarik, he was a very powerful fighter. When he fought, it was like everybody on that side, Barbarik on this side, and battlefield is level. That's how powerful he was. So when the battle was happening, and he saw that the Pandavas were winning, he became unhappy. So then he went to his father, to Gaturgach, and says to him, Dad, this is not very good. We're winning. And he says, why? We should win. No, if we win, the war will be over. I don't want the war to be over. I want to fight all the time. I want the war to go on eternally. He said, that can't happen. And we have to win because we're on the side of Dharma. No, that can't happen. So what are you going to do about it? I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to fight for the Kauravas. And I'll level the playing field. His father said, please don't do that, son. You will really be offending Krishna. It's not a good idea. Please don't do this. No, I have to go. He says, okay, why don't you do this? Why don't you first go and speak to your grandpa? Go and speak to Bhima. That's the grandfather, right? And then you decide what you'd say. So he goes to Grandpa. Grandpa, I'm going to fight on the other side. Grandpa, why? Because you're winning. But we have to win. No. If you win, then the war will be over. I don't want the war to be over. Grandpa says, please, grandson, please listen to me. You know I always loved you. I've always done everything nice for you. Please listen to me. Don't do that. No. I'm going the other side. So he says, okay, before you do that, why don't you go and speak to Krishna? And then decide. So he goes to Krishna. And he says to Krishna, I'm going on the other side. I'm going to fight for the Kauravas. Krishna said, why? Because you're winning. We're winning. The Pandavas are winning. So he said, then the war will be over. So Krishna said, yeah, the war will be over anyway. One day the war will be over. So better it be over sooner than later. So many people are dying, right? No. War should not be over. So Krishna says, so what do you want to do? I want you to give me the blessing. What blessing? That I'll go on the other side and fight for the Kauravas. Krishna says, Tathastu. I bless you. Go, fight for the Kauravas. So then, as he's going, he has an idea in his head. He's a smart guy, right? So he has an idea in his head. Man, if I go on the other side, this Krishna is very powerful. He might kill me. He might find a way of killing me, right? So he comes back to Krishna. He says, Krishna, one more thing. Can I ask for one more boon? He said, yeah. What other boon do you want? He says, when I die, keep my head alive so I can see the rest of the war. Krishna says, Tathastu. Soon as he crosses the line, his head's gone. Right? His head is there, the rest of his body died. Then the war finishes. I mean, the Pandavas won, and the 5 Pandavas are sitting in the tent, and they're happy that they won. They were able to avenge Draupadi, right? Because Draupadi was very angry. I will not wear my hair properly until you bring me the blood of Dusasana. I can drink the blood. And she was so angry, right? Because she was dragged naked into this wonderful assembly. Just unbelievable pastime how that happened. But anyway, so what happens is, Arjuna is saying to Arjuna is saying to the brothers, man, I'm so happy I killed so many people on this side, and so it's actually Yudhishthira who says that. He says, Arjuna, you're so great, you killed so many people. And Arjuna said, no, I didn't kill the most number of people. He said, who did? He said, you did. I saw the way you were fighting. And so Yudhishthira said, I'm not really a fighter. I mean, I didn't kill the most people. And Bhima said, no, I killed a lot of people. Bhima is like, I'm the one who killed, And now the argument is, who killed the most number of people? So then Bhima remembers. He says, Babarik is still there. This guy knows all the data. He was the first data analysis person on the planet. This guy was data analytics. He knew everything about everybody. Who is the father of this person, mother, which village they come from, what is his favorite food. He knows everything about everybody. That's the type of person he was, right? So they went to him and they said, well, Babarik, how are you doing? It's not very good. They said, why? The war is over. So he says, well, what do you want to do now? He said, well, I just want now Krishna to say, okay, now you can go. And I'm gone. But before you go, we have a question for you. Who killed the most number of people in this Kurukshetra battle? Was it Arjuna? Was it Yudhishthira? Was it me? He said, none of you. I said, so who? He said, it was Sudarshan Chakra. I said, what? Krishna promised that he was not going to fight, right? Krishna promised he was not going to use his weapon. So how is it that Sudarshan Chakra went and killed everybody? It was actually Sudarshan Chakra that killed everybody. So then, they went to Krishna to ask for explanation. Krishna, you said you were not going to fight. You're not going to use your Sudarshan Chakra. What happened? He said, sometimes my devotees don't listen to me. My Sudarshan said to me, Lord, I just got one small thing to do. Can I just go for a little while and come back again? And Krishna said, yeah, go. What do you want to do? Go. So he went and started killing everybody. And Krishna saw this, and Krishna said, hey, what are you doing? I told you I'm not going to use my weapon. He said, I don't care. You said you're not going to use the weapon. I didn't say I'm going to use myself. I went out and killed everybody. The Acharyas describe why this message is given. The Acharyas say, in the same way, it is the holy name that does everything in this world. The more you take the holy name, the more you'll be able to do. When Prabhupada was asked, why were you so successful? He gave 2 answers. The first answer was, I had faith in the holy name, and I always chanted Hare Krishna. It is true. There's a whole pastime where at the time in Mumbai, he was doing a great preaching program. More than 20,000 people sitting there in this park, and Prabhupada was speaking. At the end of it, his disciples came on the stage to talk to him about how to look after the books when you have a temple. And so Prabhupada was describing how to do bookkeeping, this, that, and the other. So an old man also came and sat there and heard Prabhupada talking about bookkeeping and money. So he said to Prabhupada, Sadhu, why are you talking about money? You should be talking about devotees, devotion. Why are you talking money? So Prabhupada said, look, come and sit beside me, I'll talk to you later. He said, come and sit beside me. So I said, come closer, come closer. He came close until his ears touched Prabhupada's back. And Prabhupada kept speaking about bookkeeping, how to look after the books, how to make sure every penny that comes in should be accounted for, how to have transparency in your accounting, this, that, and the other. And suddenly this old man got up, he went to the front, paid his obeisance, and ran away. So the devotees thought, why did he do that? What happened? So after they'd finished with Prabhupada, some of the devotees went after this old man to find out. Sure enough, where was he sitting? In the Prasadam group, right? Really, the only reason people come to Hare Krishna is for Prasadam, okay? That's why we should always make sure our Prasadam is very nice. And we say that Dallas is Prasadam Loka. Nobody should go hungry in Dallas, right? So, anyway, so they asked him, said, so, Prabhuji, what happened? How come you got up and left? He said, when I put my head, my ear against Prabhupada's back, he said, all I could hear was, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. He said, that's all I heard. Prabhupada didn't say anything else. He was just saying Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada here was speaking to everybody. But internally, he's always chanting Hare Krishna. That is why Prabhupada was most successful. Now he gave another reason as well. The second reason he gave is also a reason we should adopt. Prabhupada said, when I met my spiritual master, I made a promise to myself. He said, I promised myself I will see Krishna face to face in this lifetime. Now that's not an easy promise to make yourself. That you will see Krishna. Nobody can see Krishna unless Krishna shows himself. Nobody. If you can force Krishna to see you, that means you're an amazing devotee. Right? But you have to work very hard to do that. Correct? So this is the how. And then finally comes the outcome. What is the outcome? What is the result? The result should always be Krishna Prema. Because Krishna Prema is what the whole creation is made of. Material and spiritual world is made of Krishna Prema. If you withdraw Krishna Prema, the whole world is finished. There's nothing left. And what brings out Krishna Prema? The flute sound of Krishna. When he plays the flute, the sound of the flute is what creates Krishna Prema, which makes everything animate. Otherwise, nothing can animate. So that is the outcome. Now you look at it. First is the Y, which starts with W, right? Y starts with W. H starts with, how starts with? H. And outcome starts with O. W-H-O. Who? Krishna. The answer to everything is who. Your why, your how, and your outcomes is answered by who. W-H-O. And the W-H-O is Krishna. He is the greatest who. He is the original who. He is the original person. This is personalism. This is Lord Nityananda's blessing on his appearance day to all of us. Let's take this blessing and truly become happy in our lives. None of us should be sad for any reason. No matter what's going wrong in our life, and things will go wrong in our life, because this is the nature of the material world, right? Kalir dosh niderajan. Dukhalaya shashvatam. If things don't go right, you should be scratching your head and thinking, what went wrong? How did something went right? How did something go right? So, in this world, this world of wrong, but the one thing that solves the world of wrong is Krishna Prema, which comes from the holy name, which comes from the why, and the why for us is Guru and Krishna. That is our why. Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, our Guru and Krishna, our Guru. Prabhupada, our Gurus always tell us, always associate me with Prabhupada. Right? Each and every one of our Gurus, if you talk to your Guru, they'll say to you one thing. I want to be associated with Prabhupada. I remember one time Tamal Krishna Maharaj saying to me, don't ever show a photograph of me without Prabhupada with me. That's what he said. Don't show a photograph of me without me and Prabhupada in that photo. This is Guru. Guru wants to always be with his Guru. Right? That's how life works. So this is the real solution to all our life's issues. If we do this, everything will be first class in our life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Now I'm going to ask if any of you would like to say something. Sorry, I spoke longer than I should have. Questions? Yes, Mataji. You'll get the mic. She's going to get the microphone for you as well. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. If you tap it, I think it should. No? Doesn't work if you tap it? No. Yeah. Normally if you tap, it will show. It won't show until you tap. Sound creates everything in this world. It's funny.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So, because we do here services and we keep all our heart and soul, and we feel that that is the ultimate for us. We keep all our heart and soul. If something is interrupted in our service, we feel very offended.
Yes.
So, if other devotee keeps interrupting in our devotional service, how we should behave with the devotee?
Main thing is to see that Krishna is in charge of everything. Not a blade of grass moves up without Krishna's will. So why is that devotee doing it, right? So we should know that Krishna's hand must be in it. So don't come to a conclusion immediately that this person is disturbing me. That is the story you're playing in the mind, and that is the story that will play outside. Whatever story, music you play in your mind is the music that's going to play outside, right? So the first thing is don't go to that place first, that this person causing disturbance. Think to yourself, why is Krishna doing this? What is Krishna up to here? What is he trying to do here? You see what I'm saying? Try to understand that. In trying to understand that, always understand that Krishna has this thing called Ek Tir Hazar Nazare. When Krishna fires one arrow, it hits 1,000 targets. So there must be many reasons why that is happening. One might be the devotee is not happy. Unhappy devotee will come and disturb you, right? Happy devotee will not disturb you. Correct? So we should pray for that devotee so the devotee will not be unhappy. Because that's nice, right? Krishna wants his children to be happy. If like one of your daughters is unhappy and the other daughter tries to make her happy, that makes you happy, right? But if the daughter makes her even more unhappy, that's going to make you unhappy. You see what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. See what you can do to help. One thing you can do is pray. Second, you can ask a question. Prabhu, why are you doing what you're doing? I'm trying to do my service. Is there a reason, something that you want me to do? Or, like that. And try to reason it out, right? And if that doesn't reason out, try to do your service as much as you can, and then go and talk to the temple president. And say, my dear president, I was doing my service, and this person. Now, the temple president doesn't like everybody coming talking to him, so he has managers under him, the departmental heads, right? So go and talk to the departmental head. Now, the departmental head also doesn't probably like everybody coming to him, so they have other managers below them, right? So go to your next level manager and say to your next level manager, I'm trying to do my service, but this devotee did this, and I felt disturbed. What do you think I should do? And then let that devotee give you good advice. Then follow that advice. In the spiritual world, these things happen all the time. All the time, the gopis are being disturbed. See what I'm saying? But they don't get angry. They try to figure out how to deal with it. And then as you deal with it, you'll become smarter, right? And as you become smarter, you'll be able to deal with it. You don't have to no longer talk to the temple president anymore, because they now know what to do. You become smarter. So we should become smarter, right? Idea is to become smarter and smarter and smarter, not dumber and dumber and dumber, right? So this way what happens is that we don't feel disturbed. We try to see the bigger picture. What might be happening? And in learning the bigger picture, we become a better devotee ourselves. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's not easy. The material world, nothing is easy in the material world. Even breathing is not easy, right? You notice sometimes you can't breathe properly at night, right? People wear CPAP machines, this, that, and the other. Can't even breathe properly. And breathing is supposed to be the easiest thing you can do in the world, right? For some people, breathing is so easy, they think, there is no problem with breathing. I can breathe like this all the time. Then one day you have some sickness, and then you realize you can't breathe. Then you realize, wow, even breathing is hard. Everything is hard in this world. To make it easy, turn to Krishna and Krishna's representatives. Temple President Prabhupada describes is Kalachanji's representative and his representative, Prabhupada's representative in the temple. So we turn to the Temple President and the system that the Temple President sets up. Turn to that system and follow that. That was the first mistake that Brahma made, and therefore Brahma couldn't create for 3,000 kalpas. Not even an amoeba he could create, not even a blade of grass. And one kalpa is 8,640,000,000 years. Multiply that by 3,000. I mean, that's a highly unsuccessful person, right? Imagine you went to a boss and started working for the boss, and for 3 days you could do nothing. What would you think the boss is going to do? You're fired, right? What to speak? Will he wait 3,000 days? 3,000 years will the boss wait for you to do something? That's how kind Krishna is. Krishna waited 3,000 kalpas. Then finally he got the idea, I should try to ask somebody. So he turns to his spiritual master, whose name was Saraswati. And then he turns to Saraswati, his spiritual master, and she tells him, you please do tapa, 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 which translated today means you chant Hare Krishna. So he chanted. And then what happened? Krishna came. That's the first time Krishna came to this planetary system. And then Krishna says to him, the Dasamula Tattva, the 10 truths. In the 10 truths, the first truth, always live your life under the guidance of your superiors. Always ask your superiors and refer to your superiors and learn and live your life. And become a superior and help others in the same way. That is our process. Does that make sense? Sorry, a small question, I gave a long answer, but you get the idea.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. It consoled me so much.
No, thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare. Yes, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna. It was a wonderful class. Thank you very
Prabhuji.
much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
As I was thinking, my wife, she happened to ask about the same thing. So I was thinking about the disappearance day in our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya tradition.
Yes.
We always celebrate, appearances and disappearance days of acharyas. But when it comes down to Vishnu Tattva, only appearance days are celebrated. We do not celebrate the disappearance.
Right.
So there is a theological understanding given, which I wanted to share. Like when Krishna departed, so Krishna never departs, just like sun is never setting. It is just, manifesting and unmanifesting to our own eyes. But it does that pastime to bewilder the atheistic class. So that is general understanding, but the acharyas give the understanding, theological understanding, that basically it is to intensify the vipralamba, the separation of the devotee. Like Arjuna felt tremendous separation.
Yes.
And then Lord Chaitanya, he wounded up his pastime by entering into Tota Gopinath. Right? And any account, Lord Nityananda's disappearance.
Yes.
And this is what I have heard, please correct me if I'm wrong. So, Lord Nityananda represents Guru Tattva, he represents mercy, Avdarya, and it can never ever leave this planet. It has to stay. That's the reason Lord Nityananda, we do not find any account where and when, how, he disappeared. I just want to share.
Yeah, there is an account. Just so I can let you know. Yeah. That account is that he actually entered the body of Bankim Rai. In Mayapur, there's a very beautiful deity of Bankim Rai, like this, just like Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, when he unmanifested from this world, means left the manifest presentation and presence on this world, he went into the body of Lord Jagannath. That's why on Lord Jagannath's, you notice, if you go close enough, you'll notice that on his thigh, because he doesn't have feet, but he has thighs, right? So in his thigh, there is a golden streak there. There's a golden streak there. That golden streak is Lord Gauranga. He enters into, Lord Gauranga, when he disappeared, he entered into Lord Jagannath. So in the same way, when Lord Nityananda left the manifest pastimes, he went into the body of, the deity of Bankim Rai. So that you might say is not, you're correct. If everything you said philosophically was correct. I just wanted to say that because somebody might say, no, but I heard like this, right? But that is not a disappearance. That is not a disappearance. That is the Lord indicating that I am here in this form. Right now, Lord Chaitanya is here with us in the form of Jagannath. Jagannath is the Lord of the universe. He's here, right? He's the Lord of the universe, so he's here. How can you be Lord of something you're not there? You have to be there to be Lord of it, right? So he's Lord of the universe. He's here. Lord Chaitanya is inside Lord Jagannath. That's why I always say to people, pray to Lord Jagannath. Please make Lord Jagannath your best friend, your father, your husband, your boyfriend, your brother-in-law, your father-in-law, all these different roles that men can play, right? Choose one of those roles. Play that role with Jagannath, Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath is the only Krishna that is in all pastimes of Krishna. Other Krishnas only some pastimes, but Jagannath, all three pastimes. You see what I'm saying? So that's how he's there. So in that sense, technically you're correct. Philosophically, you have to say that is not disappearance. Like for example, when my spiritual master left this planet, he did not disappear into a tree called Mal tree or something. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go into something like that, right? He actually left his body. And his body was actually then put into samadhi. Correct? That's a disappearance. That's a disappearance. Like that, it doesn't happen with Lord Krishna. None of Vishnu Tattvas that happens. Even in the case of Rishabdev. Rishabdev appeared to be a person that was like us. But he was Vishnu Tattva. He was the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. When he left the planet, there was no body there to cremate or bury or anything else. You see what I'm saying? So you are right in that sense. But when they say they didn't show how he disappeared, some people say you can say that he showed himself disappearing by merging into, in the case of Lord Gauranga, Jagannath, in the case of Lord Nityananda, Bankim Rai. But that was a merging, that was not a disappearance. So you are actually correct. I just wanted you to know that. But I wanted to bring this other nuance out, because sometimes people can say, no, that's not the truth. I heard the story of how Lord Nityananda disappeared. That wasn't a disappearance, that was a merging that happened. Yes, he unmanifested himself from our manifest vision. That's true, but that's not disappearance. Just like when a cloud comes up in front of the sun, you can't see the sun. The sun has not disappeared, right? It's just become unmanifest. So like that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the class.
Thank you.
I'm not ready for it to end, so I'm going to ask another question. I was wondering if you could elaborate on something I heard. I listened to a class by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and he said something, but it was within the context of a story, so he didn't elaborate on it. But he said how, in Vraj Leela and in Mahabharat, Krishna and Balaram are always together. There's never one without the other. But in Gaura Leela, he said Balaram wanted to experience separation from Krishna.
Yes.
And so there is that in the pastimes of Nityananda and Gauranga. And I was just wondering if you could elaborate on that, why, or what does that tell us about?
Yeah. Thank you. So the person who has all knowledge in creation is Radharani. She is the origin of all knowledge, right? That's why every time you have a Lord, you have a person who's like the consort of that Lord. Like say, for example, in Lord Jagannath's case, his consort is Lakshmi, right? Although his girlfriend is Radharani. So he has this dual. That's why Lakshmi gets mad at him once in a while. You see what I'm saying? Like that. So Harinam Prabhu also has a consort. Harinam Prabhu's consort is Vidya Vadhu. Vidya Vadhu. Vidya means knowledge and Vadhu means all expanding knowledge. That's Radharani. Because Harinam Prabhu is himself Krishna. So Krishna's consort is always Radharani, right? In the ultimate pastimes. Of course, at other times he has other queens and all that. But I'm talking about his ultimate pastimes. Radharani says that the greatest happiness you can experience is in separation, not in union. Why? Because in union, you're always worried that you will become separated. In separation, you're always looking forward to becoming united. That's why you see this story of Radharani crying when she's on the lap of Krishna and thinking that Krishna went away, right? Because that bumblebee went away, whose name was Madhu. And so, Madhu Mangal came and told Krishna, I chased Madhu away. And she thought that he chased Krishna away. And so she became very sad, right? Even though she was on the lap of Krishna, she was lying on the lap of Krishna. Krishna was very much there. So Radharani says that the greatest pastimes in this world happen in Mayapur. She said, actually, Vrindavan is not the best. Although we all say Krishna, Vrindavan is the best, right? Because Mayapur is actually inside Vrindavan in the sense that there's Goloka, and inside Goloka is this place called Shvetadvipa, which is actually the 9 islands of Navadvipa, right? So Radharani said, I created Mayapur because I wanted my children to experience more happiness. Because she is the original mother. She is the one from whom all living and non-living entities come. From Balaram comes all the expansions of Krishna, but from Radharani, who are the only two outside of Krishna, comes all of the material, all of the living and non-living entities. And she wanted them as a mother, just like a mother, you are a mother, right? You want your daughter to be truly happy all the time, right? In fact, you want her to be happier than you are, right? So my point is, Radharani wants us to be happier than she is. Is that possible? I don't think so. Krishna says there's nobody happier than Radharani. Radharani's happiness is my happiness multiplied 100 times, he says. That's why he comes as Gauranga, to taste Radharani's bliss. And Radharani is saying, I want to give more bliss to my children than I have. I mean, how nice, right? We're in such a nice culture that everybody's trying to give so much bliss to everybody else. Whatever they have, they want to give more to others than they have. Generally in this world, if I'm a millionaire, I won't give all my millions away, right? I'll keep most of it and give a little bit away. But I'll keep mine because it's mine, right? But spiritual is the opposite. Spiritual is whatever I have, I want to give more than that to everyone else. That is spiritual. So that's Radharani. So this separation teaches us one thing, and that is separate yourself from love of Krishna for your pleasure. Separate yourself from that. Make it love of Krishna for others' pleasure. So if you start saying love of Krishna for others' pleasure, you don't have a problem, right? Anything going wrong in your life is not love of Krishna, so it's nothing to do. It's okay. You just tolerate it because you're in the sea. It's a little wet. You're going to get a little wet. Okay, so I got a little wet. Okay, you died. It got so bad you died. What happens if you die? You go to the planet of the demigods, if you didn't finish. You go to the planet of the demigods, have thousands of lives of bliss. Come back, get born in a very wealthy family, transcendental family, go back to Godhead, Goloka. Wow, that's fantastic, right? So actually we should all be praying to Krishna. Please, can I die? Can I die? Can I die? Now, Krishna. Can I die? This is the opposite of the material world. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I not die? If death is coming, I'm worried. What's going to kill me? What going to do? The sky is falling. The sky never falls, right? The sky is always falling. So Krishna, in that pastime, is teaching us through Lord Nityananda, whose name is Nityananda, which means eternal bliss, right? And he's separating himself from Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Why? To give it to us. To give it to us. He's going away to give it to us. Like Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan to give us Krishna consciousness. It is said you should never leave Vrindavan, right? Shyamasundar never leaves Krishna, Vrindavan. Devotees never leave Vrindavan. Gopis never leave Vrindavan. But Prabhupada left Vrindavan. Why? To give us Vrindavan. Correct? So that pastime does that. It gives us this indication where our heart should be. If our heart is in that space, that my only purpose is to give happiness to others, not look for any happiness for myself. Never worry about your happiness. Who's taking care of your happiness? Krishna, because you're Krishna's kid. Just like you're taking care of your daughter, right? Does she have to go and find a job? No. Does she have to earn some money if she doesn't have a job? No. Does she have to run her own business? No. Does she have to build her own house? No. You did all that for her. Because you are mother. Krishna is mother. He is father. Radharani is mother. Krishna is father. There's father and mother. That's why she's got a hand out like that. Mom's there. You don't have to worry, right? When mom is around, you don't have to worry. Mom can put dad in his place. So you don't have to worry. That's why you notice children always go, mom, mom, mom. They don't go dad, 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 right? They generally go mom, mom, mom. Now when they grow up, they start going dad, 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 because they realize that dad has something that they can give him too. So then now dad, dad, dad becomes important. But initially it's all mom, mom, mom. That's our mom. She's got a hand out. Don't worry, I'm here. I'll take care of it. The worst that can happen is you will die. And if you die, you're going to go to this place and have a lot of fun. And if you die and you were truly Krishna conscious, you'll go straight back to spiritual. Whichever way it is, it's a win-win situation, right? There's no lose. So never worry about yourself. There's never anything to worry about yourself. Always worry about others. What can I do to make them happy? Because when you make them happy, that makes Radharani even happier. Just like if anybody makes your daughter really happy, you will love that person very nicely. You'll think this is the best person. A good example is Giriraj Maharaj. Would you agree? You love Giriraj Maharaj, right? Your spiritual master is Radhanath Maharaj, but you love Giriraj Maharaj. Why? One of the reasons you really love him is because he really loves your daughter. Correct? That's the answer. That's what we have to do. We have to show love to others. Then Krishna becomes really happy with us that we showed love to his children like that. You see the Leela now, why it happens? Yeah. By the way, there's a very funny part to this, and that is that Krishna Leela and Gaura Leela are two different Leelas. There's Leela of union and Leela of separation. In Krishna Leela, there are times when Radharani she gets so mad at Krishna because Krishna does something that really stupid, and Radharani solves the problem, but sometimes she's not able to solve the problem. She's not able to solve the problem. He's just so tough to work with. It's just like, the guy's just too crooked. That's why he can't stand straight. Or to speak of anything else, you know what I mean? So you know what she does? She crosses Leela, goes to the other Leela and talks to Lord Nityananda about him. Because she knows Krishna lives inside his body. He knows the answer. So she'll go and talk to him. He'll tell her what to do. She'll come back and she'll fix it. This is not supposed to be the way things happen because these two Leelas are separate. You're not supposed to go from this Leela to the other Leela. Now Krishna does it himself. There are times when he goes out and he herds the cows like you see in this painting. And that sometimes he misses Radharani so much, he will run to Mayapur from Vrindavan. He'll run. And the other devotees know he's doing that. So they all run. They all go to Navadvip and then perform pastimes and come back in the afternoon again. And now he's with Radharani all the time there, right? And then he's with his gopis who are there as Sarup Damodar, Jiva Goswami, all of them. These are all gopis and manjaris, right? But these are things that are not easy to understand because their purpose is only one thing, to show us one thing. Krishna cannot be defeated by anything except love. So if we can just always show love to others, to Krishna, and to ourselves in the sense that I am supposed to be the servant of the servant of the servant. Let me just serve. Not worry about where am I going, not going, will Krishna allow me to come back spiritual world or not. Don't worry about it all. Leave that to him. Just like your daughter doesn't worry about that, right? She doesn't worry. You just told her, go to school, she went to school. She has a good time at school, comes back. Sometimes she doesn't have a good time at school and she comes back, right? But she doesn't have to worry. You've taken care of things. So Krishna's taking care of all of us. He says, Ma sucha, don't worry, right? So now, all we need to do is, if we are going to worry, then worry about how we can help somebody else, how we can serve. And take on a service that's a little beyond you, you know? But then you'll worry, right? Because you got to do it. It's hard. Easy service is easy, but hard service is, you have to think about it, right? So take a service on that's a little more difficult than your capacity. Then your capacity will grow to that. Then make it even harder. Grow there. Make it even harder. Keep making your service harder and harder and harder. That will really work nicely. Does that make sense? Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Krishna Prabhuji. First, I would like to thank you for when you were answering Aradhi Kishori Mataji. I like this point that always live in the shelter of your senior and look for the advices. And I can see in my life that because of lack of few advices, I have ruined some of my days.
Right.
So I feel like this is the best advice,
Mm.
best intake I could take from
Thank you.
your answer to her.
Thank you.
And I have one question that in our day-to-day life, you said that this offense should not be for anyone.
Yeah.
Hatimata Prad is like for towards devotee. But even if whoever is not devotee, we should not do
I
that.
should not offend.
So my question is that since our family is following Srila Prabhupada, our kids are trying, both of us are trying. So how to avoid these offenses among each other? Like, as Indian parents, we have a controlling mentality. And it's very difficult to overcome because we have seen in our family tradition. So how to handle all these things so that we don't commit aparadh in our home, where
Yeah.
we stay most of the time rather than staying outside,
Yeah.
and protect our bhakti.
Yeah. In the home, the best way to do that is to make sure that everybody becomes one soul. All the different ones become one soul. Just like marriage, it is said, is two bodies, one soul. That's real marriage. If you're really married to your husband, means you and my husband became one soul. Meaning that you're now totally in it with one another, and your happiness is his happiness is yours, your misery is his misery is yours, right? So if you become one soul like that in the family, that all of you love each other like you love yourself equally to everybody, then you don't offend yourself, right? You don't offend yourself. There's no offense after that. Because you're all one. This is not impersonalism, by the way. This is not merging. I'm not talking about merging here. I'm talking become one in purpose. One in your ultimate why, your how, your outcome, your who. You become one in that who. You see what I'm saying? All of you are fully Krishna conscious, right? I mean, you're trying to become fully Krishna conscious, let's put it this way. And Krishna accepts that. You're trying to become fully Krishna conscious, means you're fully Krishna conscious. Now, if you offend one another, that's like sometimes you offend yourself, right? There are times, like for example, you're cooking, you burn yourself, correct? Right? You offended yourself. Do you say, oh, I just committed offense to a devotee, now can't go back to Godhead? No. You did that accidentally. Now, of course, you don't offend each other, in a gross way and intending to offend the other one. Now, then don't do that. Become cultured like that. That's not Indian culture or Vedic culture or any culture. No culture offends like that. But the idea is that between one another there are going to be sometimes differences, right? We're different people, so different. There are going to be differences, but that's not offense. That is not offense. In the same way, for the community, as a temple president, the temple president is always trying to bring the community as one family. So if you become one family like that, there is no offense. If a devotee says something to another devotee, there is no offense. Why? Because they love each other fully as one community and trying to make it all one community so that all of us can go back home, back to Godhead. I remember a class in which Krishna Maharaj was speaking to us, and he said, you will not go back to Godhead alone. We'll all go back together. So if we're all going to go back together, we may as well love each other, right? And take care of each other. You see what I'm saying? Then we're together, right? So the best community is a community that is together. And I can tell you, I have many devotees, for a very long time that I've heard who say that they feel like the Dallas community is one of the best communities in the world. Why? Why is that? It is because the devotees in this community do try to come together. They do try to love one another. There are some differences we have. Naturally, we're all not same level of consciousness and everything else. But I see that the Dallas devotees are really trying to come together as one community. And that is why everybody who came in this community, like yourself, who came to this community, feel this is a good community. I'd like to stay in this community. Correct? Yeah. Many times I've heard that. People saying they like this community. Why do they like this community? Because the people in this community are trying to come together. Now we all have weaknesses, so some differences are going to be there. But just like in the family, there are differences, right? Doesn't mean you break the family apart. So in the same way, the differences we have is okay. That's what it means to be personal, right? Personal means it's not all one, it's different. But the attempt is there. And particularly, this is one of the reasons that I had asked Nrsimha Rupa to become the temple president of this temple and this community, because I saw that in him. I saw he had a heart like that he likes people to come together. He's a very humble person himself, and he doesn't like seeing people unhappy. This is a very important quality in a temple president. Try to see if you can make people happy. But as a temple president, you're always going to make decisions that somebody's not going to like. And they're going to complain about why this, why that. That's just the material world. What can you do? But think about it. Is there a place you would like to stay better than this? How many of you would like to go to somewhere else and say, I think this other place is better, I'm going there now? Yeah, no place is perfect. Prabhupada made a very nice statement. England, with all thy faults, I still love thee. They say that in England, With all thy faults, I still love thee, right? So Dallas, with all your faults, I still love you. Dallas community, right? ISKCON, with all your faults, I still love you. Because it's still the best. There is no better alternative. So that is what we're trying to promote, as a community. So you're doing that in your family, right? Your family is a little small community inside a community. So think of the bigger community and apply it to your smaller community, then you'll see the answer.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
There are going to be differences. And they are smart, right? Smart people are very hard to deal with. And ISKCON people are the smartest. That means they're the worst to deal with. If you can be a manager inside ISKCON, you can manage the creation. You can take Brahma's job. ISKCON is the hardest. Too many smart people. All smart. I have not come across anybody that wasn't smart in ISKCON. All very smart. Their minds are running 5 million miles ahead of themselves, They're like way ahead of themselves. Analyze this, paralyze that, analyze that one, and paralyze that one too. Too much analysis. Does that make sense? Thank you. All right, so we're going to now prepare to do the Abhishek. So we should do Kirtan, right? Jai. Jai. Sri Nityananda Balarama ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.